Hello there, fellow gamers. This is Sorvesteon, and I'm coming to you from Riders of Icarus. So I thought I would do a video just to kind of give you the status of what's going on and where I'm going to be taking my channel and the direction that I'm going to be moving in the near future and what I'd like to cover. But before I get into that, 1,000 subscribers. So just recently my channel hit a big milestone. My channel is still kind of new, and I know it's not really that popular yet, but 1,000 subscribers is a big milestone, and that is just really cool. So I'm really happy about that, and I'm really thankful for to all of my subscribers out there who take the time to watch my videos and who click like and who also participate in the comment section. It's because of you guys that I make these videos, and so it makes me really happy to know that people appreciate the videos that I make and that people enjoy watching them, and it just gives me so much energy and enthusiasm to continue doing this. There are lots of people I would like to thank. I started out covering World of Warships. I still really like that game, but I've decided not to cover that anymore because it's very technical and there's already a lot of people covering that, and I'm really enjoying Riders of Icarus at the moment. I'd also like to thank the people in OzEZ. They were my clan in Naval Action, and they're a really good group of people, and their support was really critical to my success in Naval Action, and I'm just really grateful to the support that they gave me, and to the great community that we had playing Naval Action together. And I also want to send a big thanks out to Rue Riders, who are now part of the Primal Alliance. They're the community that I'm involved with right now in Riders of Icarus, and they are a fantastic community. They are definitely progression and end game orientated, and they're very organized, and they're just a great group of people, and they're the ones who have been supporting me and helping me with a lot of stuff in Riders of Icarus. And like I said before, to all of you, my viewers, a big thanks to you guys, for finding my channel and for watching my videos and for continuing to support me as I continue to make videos about, Riders of Icarus. So I probably am not going to focus too much on Naval Action from now on, mostly because there's not a lot of new content coming out for Naval Action. I blew through most of the content. I went all the way from 7th rate beginner ships all the way up to the 1st rates. I did port battles, I did trading. I got involved in finding the wrecks and doing PvP and getting involved in the community and the politics a little bit. And it was a fantastic game. It's a beautiful game. If you haven't tried it, I do recommend you give it a try. But for me, there's just no new content there, and there's not a whole lot of exciting things to cover. Like I said, I've already gone through all the different tiers of ships, and although I didn't get a chance to cover all the ships, the ones that I didn't cover aren't really that much different from the ones that I did cover. Like I believe I didn't get a chance to cover the Renome. But the Renome is basically the same as a Trichomely, and I didn't get a chance to cover the Trichomely, but I did cover some other 5th rates, like the Frigate, and they have their nuanced differences, but at the end of the day, they're still a 5th rate ship, and I didn't see a whole lot of difference. So I'm not really super enthusiastic about going back to Naval Action to, cover those ships at the present time. Maybe when Naval Action gets more new content and there's something fresh in the game, maybe I'll go back to it, but for now I'm very content to stay and cover Riders of Icarus, which I'm having a lot of fun in. So Riders of Icarus has recently released Parna's Coast, and the level cap went up to 35, and that has brought a lot of new familiars to the game for us to tame, and so I'm going to continue to be making taming guides. So let me open up the Bestiary, and I mean, look at all of these familiars in Parna's Coast. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23 elites that I'm going to be making videos to cover, and 5 heroics. So there's, and I've already made videos for Lashaka and for where was he? Grumpy Gross. Grumpy Gross is here. He is. So there is just like a ton of videos to make. There's going to be no shortage of content on my channel, and I am definitely going to try and pump out as many videos as I can, as quick as I can. And that kind of brings me to another topic, just kind of in the direction that the game is moving. And here, let's just take a look at some of the recipes. These are the heroic recipes for Koresh, Phantom, Terrakarev, and I forget, maybe Apocalypse too? I forget. Anyways, it's Aisha's Will, which you need to tame Phantom. I mean, look at the materials on this. Aisha's Tear. So you can get Aisha's Tear a couple different ways from raid bosses, but there's a daily around the Frost Keep that you can get from a book that drops off of Rondo. And anyways, that will give you a daily repeatable quest that you can start doing, and the reward for that is an Aisha's Tear. So I mean, like, that's 5 days of kind of repeatable quests that you need to do just to get the Aisha's Tear for the Aisha's Will. Then you need 5 Lashakas. So I just did a video covering Lashaka, and remember, you needed 2 Logash and you needed 2 Rogatons. And then look at that, you need 55 elite taming potions. I mean, this is not cheap at all. And here, when we look at the Koresh mark, you need 4 Troys. I mean, Troy requires the Magma Hounds and the Ice Hounds. I mean, like, and then you need Abyssal Karatas, and you need another 50 elite taming potions. For Radadan's Essence isn't that difficult. The Marumi slabs are okay. Well, not okay. They're a little bit they're a little bit of a pain in the butt to get. Then you need a Radan's Tear, and look at the Chill Wall Rune recipe. You need Chilling Shards, Mortal Tears, you need a Bone Thrope. I mean, and look at that, another 50 elite taming potions. So these heroics are getting expensive. Like, the marks to tame them are getting expensive. They require a lot of materials, especially in the form of familiars from the Hakanas Highlands and the previous areas, and that's the direction the game seems to be moving in with even the elites. Like, to get Lashaka, like I mentioned before, I needed to grab 2 Logash, and I needed to grab 2 Rogatons. So, like, as we progress in the game, you know, towards, you know, higher level heroics, and in the future towards legendaries, the amount of grinding you're going to have to do, I should call this taming grinding, you're going to have to do, is just going to get, like, it's just going to continue to increase. And the amount of time that you're going to have to put in, really, yeah, just grinding, because it's stuff you've already tamed before that you're just going to have to go out and tame multiple times to then go out and tame something else, and that process is going to continue to repeat. So if you thought that taming Agnes once was difficult, well, in the future, you should be prepared to tame him like 5 more times. Garm too. And I don't doubt that in the future you're going to have to tame like Koresh 5 times, and then seal them all up with heroic seal stones for a recipe for one of the legendaries, probably. And that is kind of the direction that the game is moving into, so it's true to the kind of Korean MMO stereotype, you know, Riders of Icarus is starting to become very grindy. So that's the direction the game's moving in. And yeah, so I'm going to be making videos for all of these guys. And like I said, I'll try and get them out as quickly as I can, while I'm also publishing other content. I do want to cover, some of the raids, and I do want to maybe get some dungeon tutorials. I do want to cover a couple of other interesting topics that are not taming related. And so there's just a ton of stuff that I want to do and get done, and there's just not enough time in the day to do it all. So I do appreciate your patience as I try and, work on all this stuff and get all this stuff out. Now, that being said, actually you can help. There have been lots of requests in the comments sections of my videos for, Koresh, Terror Karev, Venomous Caspert, and these are, definitely, I want to cover them, and I will cover them. But, let's take a look at Phantom, for example. Aisha's Will recipe. So there's a reason why I've already covered Fenris, even though Fenris was a very relatively easy to tame elite early on in the Hakanas Highlands, and there's a reason why I've covered Lashaka, and that's because I've been preparing to cover Phantom. I want to get the prerequisites videos. I want to get videos made for the prerequisites done first before I start covering the heroics which require them, so that I don't have to go through and cover the same content over again twice in multiple videos. Instead, I can just say, hey, okay, you know what, you need this, and guess what, I've already made a video on that, and you can go check out that video, and in that video you can get very specific, very detailed information about that one thing, whereas it's very difficult to put all that information into one video when you're dealing with something like taming a heroic, because it just, there's just so much information that goes into it. Like with the Aisha's Will, getting the Aisha's Tear takes quite a bit of information, but then taming Lashaka is its own thing. And taming Fenris is, again, its own thing. And there is so much information just packed into just taming those two different familiars. And that's why I've been making different videos for them, so that, if you already know how to tame them, then I don't take up precious time in the heroics taming guide. And if you don't know how to tame them, then yeah, there's that resource that you can go look at, and you can get very detailed information about that. But like I said, you can help, because one of the main things that slows me down is getting the materials. Basically getting the materials. For instance, a lot of people said, hey, Sorvesteon, can you cover Agnes the Red? And I'm like, yeah, I want to. I got Dragon's Heart drop very early on, maybe 2 weeks ago, I think it was about 2 weeks ago. So I had the Dragon's Heart, but I didn't have the recipe. And I did not have the gold to go out and buy a 200 gold Agnes the Red Dragon Emblem mark. That's how much it was going for back then. And so that's basically what slowed me down. I had to wait until I got the recipe to drop, so that then I could, go through, how you can get the recipe, and then what the recipe includes, and then everything you need to craft it. I know that there are a lot of people who just flat out or just get the marks directly from event boxes or world boss drops, or from doing Ateus or different stuff like that. But in my videos, I want to cover the whole shabam. I want to cover, getting the recipe, crafting it if you're going to be doing it that way, and then how to use the mark to actually tame the familiar. So I like to cover the whole thing and just, put everything into one video. So that means that I need a lot of stuff. I'm basically, crafting the marks for every single familiar that I tame, and getting the materials sometimes can take a long time. For these heroics here, getting the recipes is relatively easy, and they're very cheap off the auction house because they're just being farmed so much, and they drop in Frostkeep and they drop in what was that thing? Yeah, Cavern of the Veil. So, you know, because the recipes come from instanced bosses, they're just so plentiful that they're very cheap. However, getting the materials for some of these things are going to take a while. Like I said, like getting 5 Aish's Tears, I have to wait at least a couple more days before I can do that. Radadan's Essence, I don't have a Radadan's Tear, and I don't have 10 Marumi slabs. And I mean, look at like the elite taming potions for this is only 8, so that's not too bad. But elite taming potions go for something like 60 silver. So if I have to buy 55 of them, like here for the Aisha's Will recipe, that means I basically have to dish out something like close to 30 gold. And that means, like, that's just money I don't have to go and buy the mats myself. So that is really what kind of slows down doing the heroics. Doing the precursor videos, or doing videos on the prerequisites, like in this case Lashaka and Fenris, and then gathering the materials. Like, that is what takes the most amount of time. Like, going and taming the actual creature is actually very quick and easy. I can just, you know, get a group together and we can go do that, and that takes all of like 5 minutes or 10 minutes to do. But gathering the materials, that is what takes the most amount of time, and I will get to it eventually. But if you want those videos sooner, then feel free to send me a little bit of gold or to send me some mats. You know, anything that you want to contribute will help to getting these videos made quicker. And that's kind of all I really wanted to say there. You know, you guys don't have to contribute anything. I will be making these videos, but, you know, it's going to be in the time that I can gather all the materials for it and all that stuff. And I will be gathering some of the materials myself, obviously, as much as I can or as much as I have to, because I do need to confirm, you know, what drops off of what and where you can find what and what are the conditions surrounding these mobs and stuff like that, like what's their respawn timer, is there a lot of competition for them, and other stuff like that. So there is just a ton of information to gather about each of them, and the heroics, because they have more requirements, and usually because the items you need come from sources that have a higher difficulty, whether it be heroic versions of the dungeons, where the bosses are more difficult and therefore less accessible, or whether the items you need are just simply rarer. You know, it takes more time to get on top of those. So if you guys want to help out and stuff, you guys know my character names. I'll put them down in the description below. It's Satina and Ivessa. Just feel free to mail some gold or some mats if you want to. And that, you know, will just help me get the materials faster, and it will help me get the taming guides out faster. Actually, one of the things that I'm in desperate need of, and, you know, anyone of any level could help contribute, are elite seal stones. I spend so much money on elite seal stones, it's not even funny, because, you know, you need to seal elite familiars, even if they're like the low level ones from the Hakanas Highlands or, you know, wherever. I just go through so many of these, and I'm going to be going through so many of them in the future. So if you have any of these and, you know, you would like to donate something towards the channel to help get some of these taming guides made faster, then elite seal stones are definitely very useful. That will save me a lot of time, you know, time that I would otherwise have to go spend farming lower level dungeons to get these, or to make more money to go buy more of these. So, you know, obviously that takes away from the time I have to make taming guides. So anyways, yeah, elite seal stones are really, really, really good things to donate if you want to contribute towards getting the taming guides made faster. Like I said, you don't have to. I will be getting this stuff done, you know, on my own, but if you want to, you know, help get some of these taming guides out a little bit faster, then elite seal stones are definitely one of the things that you could really help me with. So again, a big thanks to all my viewers and subscribers. You know, it's you guys, you are the reason why I do all this stuff, you know, and these taming guides are all to help you guys out. You know, I don't need them myself because I obviously already know all about this stuff, but you know, this stuff is for you guys, and you know, that's what I really enjoy, you know, helping you guys out and helping you guys enjoy Riders of Icarus more. So anyways, yeah, I hope you guys can look forward to a lot more content coming out in the future. I'm going to be covering Riders of Icarus for a while, and I'm going to be hopefully trying to get all of the Parnas Coast elites and heroics, all the ones with the little book icons, you know, done before we get our next expansion, so that when we get our next expansion, then you know, I can start covering all of the new familiars immediately or as quickly as possible. With the last update, I was a little bit behind. You know, I wanted to get Agnes and Garm covered before Parnas Coast release, but obviously that didn't happen, so I'm gonna try and work really hard to make sure that, you know, in the next content update that that, you know, I'm ready and positioned, and you know, all this stuff is already all the taming guides for Parnas Coast is already finished, and we can just move on with the new content when it gets released. So this has been Sorvesteon. Don't forget to click like or subscribe to my channel for more taming guides and other videos about Riders of Icarus, and well, basically anything else I decide to cover. There's no other games right now on the radar, although if you do see another game on my channel, well, it'll just be something I randomly decided to get into because I thought looked cool. But for now, definitely going to be sticking with Riders of Icarus, so expect a lot more taming guides coming out for that. So until next time, fellow gamers, take care and have fun.